Raffer, and I'm a college minister with UC at OK State Campus Ministries. Welcome to this lesson today as I take you through a challenge of what it means to wash feet. When I was a kid, we used to play in the mud all the time. I mean, literally a lot. And if you ask my mom, if you ask my best friend's mom, they can definitely testify. We got our money's worth when it came to time in the mud. My best friend James and I, we played football all the time, one-on-one in his backyard. And bless his dad's heart, man. There was one time where we got so muddy that his mom took us, stripped us down to nothing, and hosed us off right there in the yard. And we couldn't come inside. We were completely. I can remember my mom, she would, have you guys taken your shower yet? And, yeah, sure, yeah. And if you guys ever had your grandma, she'd like lick her finger and then scrub your face or something like that. And you're like, no, stop, please stop, I don't want to do that. Well, I was that kid. I was that kid, and that was my grandma and my mom and everybody else's mom, I think. So, but I want to kind of think about that for just a little bit today in our lesson. This is the very first in our fall series. Our fall series is called Called to Love. And we're going to be looking at, on Wednesday nights at praise service, what does it mean to be called to love? And I'm looking forward to Barry Bachman's lesson tomorrow night even. So, but today I want to spend some time in a story that we know really well. But I think sometimes we might kind of minimize what happens in this story, because it's from John chapter 13. And in John chapter 13, verse 1, it begins with a very, very important phrase. And Jesus is gathering with his disciples. It says the Passover was near. And this phrase in the NIV is just awesome to me. It says Jesus desired to show, and this is where I want you to slow down a minute. Jesus desired to show his disciples the full extent of his love. And we know the story that happens after this. We know what happens after this because Jesus gets down on his feet, on his knees, and washes the feet of the disciples. One by one, he says, I'm going to show you the full extent of my love. This blows my mind, and here's why. It's not like this is just another meal hanging out with the disciples. He knows. Literally, John 13:1 says he knows that the time has come. And what he means by that, what John the writer means by that is Jesus is vividly aware that in the next 24 hours of his life, he's going to be arrested, a terrible trial is going to take place, and he's going to be crucified. And that the weight and the responsibility of all of the sins of mankind are going to be placed upon him. He knows that's coming. He's vividly aware of this reality. And here he is in this moment thinking about, you know what I really need to do? I need to show my disciples what it really means to practice love the way that I do. So here's an interesting exercise that I did. I Googled, I got on my search engine and I Googled quotes about thinking of others in the midst of great adversity. So the search was about, give me some examples, some quotes, some inspirational sayings when people hit massive adversity and looked outside of themselves to serve others. An interesting theme, an interesting common denominator hit in all of the search engines that I was looking at. And maybe you should try this just to kind of compare. All of the focuses were not so much on how to show other people love in the midst of your own adversity. They were all messages about, hang in there, you can do it, you've got this is not going to kill you, you can handle this. It was all about self-enforcement. It was all about kind of empowerment. When things get tough, you get going, you know, when you do these things. And everything was redirected from showing others love to reaffirming yourself strength in that moment. And that's why I think that what we see when you look at what Jesus does in this moment, it's crazy. It's so foreign to human behavior what Jesus does when he says, you know, I've got a really, really awful day coming tomorrow. See, stress and chaos, anxiety, change, everything that's happening right now in our world, they do something to us. They do the exact same thing that we do all the time when we're little kids. When you get stressed, when you get full of anxiety or worry, we do what's called, we turn the arrows inward. So all of the things that need to be met are focused on us. You need to take care of me now. I'm stressed, I'm worried, I'm full of anxiety. And so I take all of the focus points, all of the things I should be focused on, and I say, focus on me. I turn all of the arrows inward. If you don't believe me, try this little exercise sometime. Take 5 cookies. I did this actually at praise service. Take 5 cookies and divide them among 7 little kids. And watch the dynamics that take place. Because, man, everybody turns the arrows in. What about me? What about mine? Why can't you give me one? Why did you get all the one and I only got half of one? I mean, the dynamics are crazy, but they are all examples of us in the moment of anxiety and worry. Man, we fixate on self. We turn the arrows inward. And here's Jesus, the divine suffering servant, in the moment where he should have every right to say, guys, it's not about you, it's about me right now. And John 13:1 says that it's in that moment where Jesus says, knowing that the time had come, he decides to show his disciples the full extent of what his love acts like in this world. This is a huge teaching moment. This is like the last great object lesson before Jesus goes to the cross. It's the moment where, it's like Jesus says, what's the greatest thing that I can convey on these guys in this last hour? And then Jesus asks this question. After he washes their feet, he looks at them and he says, do you understand what I have done for you? That's the question I want you to think about tonight. What does that look like in your life? Because Jesus takes the moment where he should have pointed all of the arrows in, and all of the arrows, all of the focus points go out to others. All of the fixations go out to showing other people what real Christ-like God love is about. It's about washing other people's feet. So Jesus looks at me and Jesus looks at you and he says, do you understand what I'm about? See, our lives are filled with hundreds of moments like this. Much more trivial in nature, for sure, than what Jesus is experiencing in this moment. And that's kind of what really challenges me, is that in this moment, we are really called in the most petty of moments. The moment where, if you ever feel that you hit to the parking lot at the same time as another person, or the parking spot, and you're, boy, it's all about you. I can't believe that person's not thoughtful enough to let me go first. Or I can't believe that person's not thoughtful enough to let me be in the front. I can't believe that person's not thoughtful enough to honor me. Man, I do that so much. And when we're called to love, we have to love the way that the caller says. Jesus says, no servant is greater than his master. If you call me Lord, you call me teacher, and rightfully so. But you can't be greater than me. So you and I, definitely me, are placed in an opportunity. Everybody around us, whether it's the pandemic, social injustice, just a crazy, chaotic world, everybody wants to turn arrows in. And we have a great, great moment in front of us. And Jesus calls us to be somebody who shows others the full extent of his love. I want to invite you to accept that challenge from Jesus, to more deeply think about and practice and exemplify what it means to show the love of Jesus this week. God bless you as we start this series on what it means to be called to love. God bless you all.